Hey, welcome to the Creatives Conversation. My name is Gabriella Martay, and this is brought on by Helps Too. I have some amazing women with me today. I'm going to save the best for last.
Ooh.
Wow.
Thanks for that, Gabby.
What does that mean?
Sorry, we have an ongoing relationship. If y'all have been watching, you guys know that Amber Huffman...
You guys know that she's always mean to me. That's what you know.
No, that's not true.
If you've been watching, you know that she
you
disowned me on the
watching-
show, that she called me out
the
for not
disowning
knowing famous people.
was really... Yeah, okay, you're right. I did call you out for not knowing famous people. Not knowing Serena Williams. That's a whole...
Ooh.
Y'all go back and watch the episode. What was it called?
It was our most
The Burnout
recent,
episode, which technically came out today, but you're not watching this today.
Exactly.
So Amber Huffman is my brand manager here at Helps Too. I love her. She's a little sister to me. We've done music, everything together. And now she's managing the brand, which is so cool. So she comes up with this podcast in terms of like ideas and thought. But yeah. There's been a lot of things that have happened on the podcast. We're just going to leave it right here. We're going to kill this. We're going to squash this right here in front of y'all.
So if you're a therapist and you want to work with us, hit us up. No, we need couples therapy.
Sounds like you
But
guys
she
need it.
has, I love her. Anyways, let's turn pages
Oh, hi,
here.
guys.
We have the famous Lexi Bradley. She's famous in my mind.
Okay, wow.
And she is the starter, right? The
Yes,
founder and
I
the
am.
owner of Sunnyside Up.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to butcher that part of it. But
No, you're not. You're
first
doing
of all,
great.
before I even start asking her questions, welcome, subscribe, and here we go.
That was a
Because there's
little
always
delayed.
like the intro, right? Like the music. We didn't give room for the music.
Oh,
Cue the music.
Andre, put on the music.
Right?
That
Okay.
was cute.
Yeah, that is
All
how
right,
it goes.
cool. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. So we have Lexi Bradley here with us.
Hi, guys.
Lexi, you are the owner of Sunnyside Up.
I am.
You've done some crazy things.
I have.
In a great way. Like
Every single day.
she's done some
always
pop-ups, but I don't want to ruin that. I want you to tell us what you do because it's always different from the owner.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sunnyside Up specific, I feel like what I do is a huge bubble as a creative. And
love
if you're
this.
watching or listening as a creative, you probably know that there's always a million things on your plate. It's like, honestly, I tell my boss that I'm a buffet. And it's like,
Oh.
just pick. What do you want from me today? Like, do you want
I love
photography?
that.
Do you want illustration? Do you want entrepreneurial stuff?
'Cause you
Like,
do
just
all of
pick.
that.
Yes, I do.
She does
Yeah.
all of that.
Do you guys?
That's
It's so
amazing.
fun.
Yeah, I almost had like not a brain fart, but like I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, you do.
I do a 9 to 5. I do my side hustles.
9 to 5.
I do,
photography.
yeah. I do my photography side
You're
hustle.
an illustrator.
I am.
You're a fashionista. I watch you.
Thank you. I do get
time.
to style models in my 9 to 5, which has been so fun.
That's
so
crazy.
I really do feel like a great buffet.
You do marketing, and now you own a company.
And now I do. That's a big, stretch for someone who has like 300 followers right now. But you
That's
know
where
what?
we all start, though.
Yeah.
I
for
think
real.
it's the seed, and I'm really encouraged in that space. And I
Yeah.
don't feel, starting it with a 9 to 5, I don't feel like this huge pressure to
Yeah.
make it be the moneymaker of my life. It's really
Yeah.
just started from
We've talked about that
passion,
before.
and
Yeah.
just
yeah.
it being so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sunnyside Up, it started out, honestly, as a seed that God has planted in my heart for just wanting to worship Him.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So that really was it. And I just felt like every single time that I was creating and it was for the creator, that there was
Yeah.
this relationship to him that it was like, wow, so undeniable. Like he has created me. And when I create, like I'm an image bearer and I reflect that in him.
That's awesome.
And so I just realized, like, as I keep doing this, it's just something that was honoring to him. And honestly, you guys, like, I don't work on it if it's not joyful. Like, if it's not from the fruit of the Spirit, if it's not
I
from
wish.
the fruit of the joy. Because right now, it's not my full-time income. So it's
Right.
really just,
Right.
as I want it, whenever I want it to be. And so if it's not coming from a place of joy and it's not honoring to God, I'm just like, I'm going to take a break.
Well, it's funny because
Yeah.
I asked her to be on the podcast,
Yeah.
and you were like, I'm not really doing that right now. Is that okay? Yes. And I was like, wait, I thought you meant like, I'm not really doing podcasts right now.
Oh, no, I love this. Yeah, no, this is
but
great.
You're not really doing Sunnyside Up. Just like you wanted a break, or what are you feeling?
Well, fall is like the peak time for photography because everyone wants family photos. I got to shoot like a wedding 2 weeks ago.
That was beautiful.
So it's been a really fun time. So that's like taking a lot of, you only get so much time. If you guys have love languages, like quality time is my number one. And so I really reserve my evenings for Dalton.
Her husband.
Oh, yes. That's my husband. Dalton. Who's Dalton?
I think we forget, like, we talk about each other our lives so much.
Hi, Dalton, if you're listening.
He probably
you're cute.
Better be.
You better be listening.
You're cute.
She's flirting. Uh-oh.
I know. I'm so sorry.
She's a good wife. Like,
I believe it.
Thank you. I feel so encouraged right now on this podcast. This is so great.
She
I'll be
her
back
husband
every
like
week.
crazy.
I love him.
I feel like total tangent, which we're really good at, so forgive us.
No,
but
that's okay. Let's go down
I just feel like there's not enough people, husbands and wives in particular, who edify themselves, but then like people just creatively don't edify one another.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I see something great and somebody that I think is amazing, I'm just going to say it.
Thank you so much.
I see that in you.
He really is my compliment, And it was so sweet. Like starting Sunnyside Up, he would call me and be like, so, how many necklaces can I help you make today? How can I, he was setting up the pop-ups with me.
And he was making necklaces with you.
He was. Like, he was so down.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you guys are into Enneagram. I'm an Enneagram 7.
Are you really? I knew it.
Okay, yeah.
That's fun.
Let me not lie. I knew.
So you can tell. Good. Everything I'm motivated by is like. No, I actually. You're a 4, aren't you? What are you?
Also a 4.
Oh my gosh. Well, these are the like creative queens then, because I feel like 4s, you guys just are so expressive and you like mean it. It's
a little too expressive.
A little too much sometimes.
Well, look at it
to
now.
the point where I'm like, I'm not posting on Instagram. It's all fake.
Right.
Get carried away. Anyway, tell us what you're motivated by, Lexi, because we just
gosh.
veered left.
No, but I was gonna say that I am a 7, so I'm motivated by fun and just having a good time. And
your brand reflects that, by the way.
Thank you. I try to keep it joyful.
Good.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know we usually do this at the end, but just like tell people where they can like go see your brand.
Yeah. So if you go on Instagram and you look up Sunnyside Up Art, all one word, that's it. So you can just find it there.
It's so cool. Like aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Thank you.
You're selling things.
Yeah.
And I gave her one of your cards, your illustration.
Yeah, I have your.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, one with the scripture.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, that's so cool.
I was like, look at this illustration.
Yeah. Aw, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's digital illustrations. I've been pushing myself to do other mediums just to get out of my comfort zone with that. So
like what?
I've been making jewelry. I'm wearing some right now. I'm wearing my little cactus
necklace. It literally matches this shirt.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it does. That's so sweet. It's okay. You can plug me later. I'm just kidding.
Good. I'll wear it to the next podcast.
Yeah. So we do that, and then I just really want it to be a space that brings joy to people.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna work on posting, more things about in scripture what I'm learning, so and like having that be part of the theme that I create for. Usually creators are coming from a theme, so the last one I did was fruit of the spirit, and I made strawberry earrings and orange slice earrings.
Cute.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Just trying to keep it around the main thing.
My mind is like,
yeah.
Because I can see all the earrings and stuff in my mind, and I'm like, that is so cool.
I mean, you can't not smile when you're wearing strawberries on your ears.
No, and I loved watching. Okay, you did like a little spread, kind of like modelly spread,
which was so fun. But when we did like a whole picnic, so our last theme, we did a whole picnic scene. And it was so beautiful. We had this vision. Pretty. I partnered with my friend in LA to do this one. So we did like vintage glassware and I love vintage shopping. Everything I'm wearing, everything I always have is all vintage
shopper.
Thank you. It's like a treasure hunt.
No, it is.
Sure. Like, you know what I mean? When you find something, it's like it gets me more excited than just Googling it and finding it online. I'm like, no, I want to be the one and I want to find this.
Yeah, there's like a mission.
Yeah, and it's way cheaper. Like it's budget friendly, y'all.
Oh yeah, thrifting. Yeah.
But it was so much fun because we found all this really cool vintage wear that really aligned with the theme of what we were doing. And then we found this beautiful spot underneath like this weeping willow that we did this whole photo shoot at. And so it was great because all of my friends from church, they all modeled. If you saw, they're so beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Like you have to go see those pictures.
Like no joke. And then just like not to be totally like inappropriate, but like the United Nations, I feel like, in terms of, I just love diversity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's just like,
important.
especially in a lot of things
Yeah.
like modeling and like wearing jewelry or whatever, you just don't see a lot of diversity.
Right.
You're really good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to see themselves in the models. You know, I don't want it to feel exclusive. And that was a huge part of like, you have a place at the table.
I
you
felt
know?
that
That's
when I looked
awesome.
at it.
And so that was like a big part of creating, but it was really fun. And I don't think people realize as a creative all the seats that you hold, because it was like, we're coming up with the marketing, but then we're also coming up with all the designs. We're shopping, and then we're styling, and then we're taking the photos, editing, post-production, posting it to social media. And it's like,
Writing the captions.
it's crazy running your own business, y'all. It's like, you
no
hold
joke.
and you guys know this, right? Like,
Oh,
how's
yeah.
it been for you guys, you know, running your own stuff?
I can just do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, I think the hardest part is like, and we want to ask you more about what it's like starting, because I feel like I didn't really start Helps Too. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't start Helps Too.
I didn't know that, yeah.
I actually bought Helps Too and kind of like, I don't want to say failing for it, but it was like hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And then I bought it crazy because the Lord told me to. It was a crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
For like $1 from this amazing man named George Temple. But so I
Shout out
don't
to
really
George.
have like, well, I started my music, and shout out to George. But like, I don't have like a business that I guess music does count because I do sell albums and whatever, but like, I just feel like you're really doing it. Like, you have a product or products, and you're like putting them out there.
Yeah.
And you started from scratch.
I did.
Now, for us, I will say I learned to do everything, but the hard part is learning to delegate. And then like, you know, if you delegate something, the person's like, well, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You got to sit there and teach them,
Have a
and then
vision.
like not get frustrated and whatever. And so I
Yeah.
think for you and me, that was our relationship for what, like a year or two?
Yeah, a year or two, definitely.
When you came on
yeah.
Helps Too?
Yeah, especially when my role switched. I actually started as the videographer, which thank God we found Andre, because he's doing a much better job than I was able to. So yeah, if you look at our older videos and you're like, why is the quality so different? Yeah, that was when I was...
You said different. You didn't say bad. That's good.
Different. It was different. Different. Yeah,
But that's where we were.
Yeah.
Back, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
How did I do it all? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Good for
once
you.
I switched
There's hope.
over to being the brand manager, it was like, now I don't even know how to answer the question, what do you do? Because it's like you're describing like a buffet. Like, what don't I do at this point?
Yeah.
But that was a process of like a lot of like
Figuring that out.
And finding your niche and what you
figuring out-
enjoy.
figuring out like what's needed and how can I do it? How can I do it well? You know, to a professional standard, and how can we make our brand really stand out? So,
well, yeah, and I love when you said you were like, I don't do it when I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I
And I laughed a little bit because I was triggered by this memory of her saying, Gabby, I love like 80% of my job.
Aw.
There's that 20% that I
Yep.
could just like do without. And I
Yep.
was like, oh, you're like growing up.
Yeah.
like everyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I feel that. Like, I love my job.
Yes.
There's like
Yeah.
that 20% where you're like, man, like, how can I get this off?
How can I
my
get
plate?
out of all of these
Yeah.
meetings?
Yeah, like, how can I not be
Yeah.
in meetings all day, which
Right.
was today.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah. That's so
tell
good.
us a little bit about your experience.
Okay.
Just starting. Like, okay, you have this dream. Where did the name come from, by the way? Sunnyside Up.
Oh, so this isn't the first time that I've been like, let's start a business. Let's get a new Instagram. I swear I have like 5 different Instagrams, y'all. And I just hold the names and I'm like, you know, I'm so sorry if you're like going after like Lexi Bradley Creative, like if there's another one of you guys out there.
Just don't call her.
But no,
She'll sell it to you. No.
I think I've wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was a kid, you know? I always have had like, I'm a big dreamer and I'm a big visionary and I'm like, how can we do it? But this time, I just remember sitting one of the mornings that I was just having my coffee and having my quiet time with God, and I was writing in my journal and I was like, God, like I'm praying for ideas. Like, what do you want of me? You know, like what creatively can you bring like to the table? What are you asking of me? And I was praying specifically about names for a brand. And I just remember like totally envisioning an egg. And which is so funny. It's so random, you know, but something that just encapsulates joy so much. And Sunnyside Up is, you know, kind of egg, but I think of like a morning time. And for me, my mornings, I don't know about you guys, but they're like sacred.
Same.
Like that is a time to me when I wake up and I just get to have a fresh start and rejuvenate and just have, you know, like maybe it's 5 minutes that morning, maybe it's an hour that I just get to sit with God and just feel much more like myself. Like that time is so good. good. So like a thought of an egg just brings joy. And like, honestly, I'm not a good cook. And so I could live off of eggs. And Dalton makes fun of me for this, but
I'm like, whoa.
in college every single day, like that was my meal. But that was another reason that I picked like a type of food too, was because my testimony is that I walked through an eating disorder with anorexia and bulimia specifically for like 3 to 4 years. And so the thought of just like food nourishing your body, and I always say that I was hungry for so long, but Jesus has made me full. Wow. And now I'm like hungry for what's after his heart, you know? Yeah. And so I wanted to incorporate like that little piece. Like that no one would know that on the surface, but except if you ask me like, what's that? What's the egg all about?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So it's a lot deeper.
You're such
than
an
you
artist.
think.
Just like
Thank
the symbolism.
you.
Like, yeah. I mean, like just in my music, my middle name is Martay, so I didn't really get to choose that. But like, cool. I did get to choose like what I was gonna go by. But Martay means rest, and the Lord gave me that name for my name. Because Martay actually is a bitter river in Scotland. There's no definition for the name Martay. Yeah, I could be like, I'm bitter.
Specific. Yeah.
But I remember the Lord saying in a time of prayer, like, no, that means rest. Yeah. And I had no context for that. But now that I'm like older, time has passed, I'm like, wow, I really do deliver rest. Just by being around, like, and I'm not even like a sad or like solemn person, but just like that peace that comes when you have a good friend around or whatever. And so, but you don't know if you don't ask, you know what I mean? So I think that's so incredible. It's a lot deeper,
and it's special to you. Like I think that's what's important too.
Special to you, yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love it. So wait, how did you? Question.
Yes. Not about what you're saying at all. I just
you have the floor.
I was just thinking about, you talking about you had 5 different Instagrams and you've always kind of wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like what made this time different? Like why is it that the other times you tried to start and it kind of didn't take off, but this time you're actually going for it?
Yeah. See why she works for me?
Yes, that's a great question. Like, I know. I was telling them that I was a journalism major, actually, and so I'm usually on the other side as a question asker. So when someone asks me a good question, I'm like, okay, I see you. Yeah, maybe you went to school too. No.
Definitely did not.
You have a journalism degree by chance?
Not at all. Right.
That's awesome too. So this time I think was just different because I was aligned with what God's vision was for me, not what Lexi's vision was for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it really is. It's not like I did anything different, but really just was like, okay, this is for the glory of God. It's not for it's not for me. It's not for the money. It's not for, all these things I think like you'd want to start a business for. Like it truly was like, God, when I create, I'm closer to the creator and I want people to take part in that. And I want people to be blessed by that. Yeah. And that's really it. And like, it's so cool because as people, come and see me at pop-ups, like I feel like I'm so blessed by that too.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm sure.
I just am like, you want to buy my stuff? Like, are you serious? Like, it makes me feel so worthy as a creator too. But yeah, I don't have like this grand big thing. It was just like, I listened to God and I prayed about it and surrendered it to him and was like, okay, like you want this? Like, sure, I'll step out in it too. Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I like do it only when I feel like it brings me joy and it helps me feel closer to God is like, oh my gosh, I heard this on another sermon and it was so good, this question, and it was like, and you guys can answer it too, but it was like, are you trying to live up to your potential or are you living out your purpose? Wow. And that has really stuck with me, like starting a business. Because I think as creatives especially, we talk about like this buffet, we talk about we have so many things, that we can do. Because you just have to know a lot as a creator, as a creative. You really do. And as an entrepreneur too, you don't just have to be like the 9-to-5 kind of creative. But I just think that there's so much potential. It's like, oh, I could go into photography full time if I wanted. Oh, I could do 9-to-5 full time if I wanted.
Y'all were not ready for this. You were not ready. This is so good.
Like it really comes down to like, what is my purpose? Yeah. And like the moment that I met Jesus and encountered him and he saved me, he was like, you're going to go tell people that they're worthy of my love. And so it doesn't matter what outlet I'm doing, whether it's Sunnyside Up, whether it's like those photography sessions, whether it's ministry. My husband and I really feel called to plant a church someday. Yeah. And it's just like, whatever it is, like do it unto the glory of God. Like it really is. I'm sorry if I'm preaching too much, but I just really
I don't think there's too much because I feel like, to be honest, I feel like if I'm going to be honest and transparent, a lot of creatives have really disassociated their creativity from a divine being from God,
Yeah.
from Jesus as God.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a culture, and I don't know. I mean, maybe the Bible says that this would come to be. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't know why it's like, I'm creative, but I don't do that stuff. What do you mean that stuff? Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of people just have like this preconceived notion that God is so cold or so boring
Yeah.
or so
He's
like
not,
lifeless. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just love the Lord. Like,
Yeah.
and if you've watched these podcasts, you've heard me like mention it. Like, it's just so obvious, right?
Right.
But like, I just don't think I'm just going to be honest. I don't think you can create to your, speaking of potential, to
Yeah.
your true potential or purpose, like lacking a true connection to the creator.
And you're going to be so focused on the wrong things too.
Yeah.
Like the way that you described it, like I just have this feeling that like you're not worried about numbers. You're not worried
Yeah.
about like are enough people following
Yeah,
me, like are enough
right.
people buying
Yeah.
stuff, are enough people paying
Yeah.
attention to what I'm doing. Like that's
Right.
not your motive. And so
Right.
therefore like you're just at peace and at ease with what
Yeah.
you're able
Really
to do.
able to create. Because
Exactly.
if you're focused on numbers, and I've been there, like,
Yep,
that's
me
the
too.
trap of every person that's gifted with a buffet of skills and marketing skills.
Right.
It's like the most horrid thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you get trapped in that, and then all of a sudden, like, are you creating? And
Yeah.
actually, let me even like be even more transparent. I actually
Here you go, Gabby.
like confession time. So okay,
for
I
it.
told myself I wasn't gonna really like do anything major on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of my main platforms, or YouTube, my two main platforms that I like really pursue to reach people for
Yeah.
the Lord. I was like, I'm not going to do that until January. And right now it's October. And so
Wow,
I was
yeah.
like, I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
because I just feel like I've gotten so wrapped up in kind of like reaching. Like, I'm
Yep.
like, oh, just like 5 more people, just 10 more
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so like
Yeah.
now numbers focused. I was like, oh, I need a recalibration. Like, I got
Yeah.
to take a step back.
That's a piece. Yeah.
And so, but what's so funny is that Instagram rolled out. I'm like, Lord, is this you or is it just me again? You know, rolled out this new offer. So they pay creators.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can make up to $800 this month by doing
amazing.
reels. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's really great. But I just was like, I'm not doing this. So I'm going to go home and literally be like, Lord, do I need to do this? Or like, I don't need this $800.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's just like such an incentive. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, man, I can really make $800.
Yeah, you could. That's your
By
potential,
creating.
right?
And I love
Yeah,
creating.
yeah.
Right? Your potential.
That's your potential.
Lord, what do you have for me in this season?
Right.
What's my purpose?
Yeah, and the most
Yeah.
important thing
It's
is
huge.
asking. Yeah,
Yeah.
just ask him. He knows
Just
what you
ask
can handle.
him.
Yeah.
Like, no matter who you are. Like,
Yeah.
whether you've been in church, like,
Yeah.
whether you've never known God,
Yeah.
like, just ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's like that one, sorry, it turned into a whole sermon, but I don't care. But there's that one verse, I think it's Malachi 3:8 or 3:10.
okay.
And it's where literally it's kind of about the tithe, but the Lord says, test me in this. Like,
Yeah.
just
Wow.
test him.
Yeah.
And I think enough of us, like, especially creatives, I don't know what it is. I feel like creatives really do, like, bring glory to the Lord because God's a creator.
God's
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Right.
like us creatives, I think a lot of us like are so cold towards religion sometimes because we're like actually meant to like be a window into
Yeah.
it, if that makes sense. And so, but I just think a lot of us need to test him. Like you don't have to start preaching anything tomorrow.
Yeah.
You just need to test him. You know what I mean? Like and do
Yeah.
what he says to do.
Yeah. It sounds so
It's
simple, but
simple.
really
Yeah.
it's like
It will free your life.
It's
I think
relational.
It's
Yeah.
so freeing.
yeah, and I think
So
about
freeing.
that too. Like God as a creator, like He's so relational. Like
Yeah.
He's created us. Like we long for relationship. Like it doesn't have to be like a lovey-dovey one. It could just be
Yeah.
like with a friend or a person. Like
Yeah.
no one wants to live isolated. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
so like I think that's a big part of like how I create is relationally too. You know, and like my 9-to-5 social media marketing job, it's like very analytics, like numbers. How can
Totally.
we
I
how can we
understand.
like play the algorithm to
Yeah,
get the most
right.
views and engagement and whatnot? But
Yeah.
like for the other things that I do in my life that I don't have to necessarily think about that right now, it's like I want to like create to like reach people and like actually
Yeah.
have conversations with them
Yeah.
and relate with them and you know
Absolutely.
create a space of vulnerability and learning together. Like it
Yeah.
truly doesn't have to be the numbers game.
Absolutely.
It doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't. And if you have to play the numbers game, because some people like you're in a marketing
Yeah,
role too,
right.
right?
I
Like,
am.
You
I
own a
understand that
business
too, yeah.
You're in a marketing role. I get it. Like I
Yeah.
create all the time, but yet like I own a marketing company. Like who would have thought? I never
Yeah.
would have thought. Like for real.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, man, like when I think about the clients that we've helped here at Helps Too and still do, like I think about how we really do like help them.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like being a doctor. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I get to give them what they need to like get to the next level of whatever they need to do, their own purpose. And then like when I'm not like helping them and I'm like helping like someone else more directly that's not my client or whatever, I'm like, man, Lord, you're really training me up to understand things. And like, you know, marketing is very creative.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to paint pictures with a marketing brush that I would have never learned how to paint if I wasn't working for someone else.
Right.
Or like being in a 9-to-5 environment.
Yeah.
And I think we're just so like, as creatives, once again, I'll speak for all of us, like we're so anti 9-to-5.
Yeah.
Like we're just so ready to get into our calling and like
I
not
love it though.
touch it.
Yeah.
I know.
I
we
love that
our
salary.
creating. Yeah, hello. You need that sometimes to
Monthly,
make your
yes.
business go.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm actually kind of in the midst of that right now because I said, you know, they asked me, I said, okay, you know what, I think like it's my time to leave. And they asked me to stay till December. And I was like,
Which is very soon.
yeah, which is very soon. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like there's so much more room to grow. And then I kind of got asked again to stay even longer. And now, and I need to give my answer by next week. And I'm like,
OMG.
yeah, like this
wow.
is current stuff right now.
Wow.
And I'm kind of working through those waters. But the thing is, like, I have a lot of peace about it. And it's just like, they're all good options too.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. And I think it's like whatever you pick, like there's going to be blessing in that for sure. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to do the one thing to like make a name for yourself and move on and then you'll be happy. Like I just really think there's so much fulfillment in being consistent and being like honorable to your word and just being like, you know, wherever I decide to plug into, like I'm going all in. And so that's the thing.
huge.
Yeah, you know?
Being faithful where you're planted. Because, like, I'll tell you the truth, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
Yeah.
I hate that stuff. But, I mean, I feel like I've seen mountaintops, right, as a creator. Like, and then, like, literally the next day go back to the 9-to-5.
Yeah.
And I just really believe, like, your mountaintop season might be longer than the next person's, right?
Yeah.
But, like, the reality is, like, life is not, I get to the mountain and then I'm done. Like, no, it's like a mountain range.
Yeah.
So like you're literally traveling like, okay, we're going up the mountain. I'm at the top. Whoa. Okay, I go back down. Oh, got another mountain. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, different mountain sizes,
Right.
but like, and so I mean, how do you go from opening up for Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Right. Like
It's insane,
and
Gabby.
just getting back from like I
Yeah.
literally went from Costa Rica. I was on like this just shows you how like mountain rangy life is. I was
Right.
in Costa Rica for a month. I was helping to conserve like sea turtle life. So
Just
random.
So cool.
Just out there writing songs in
What?
Costa Rica.
like a
Thank you,
movie.
Andre. Yours. That means you're almost up at time. Yeah. But I'm out there.
Yeah.
And then I get back. I win this competition in LA. I open for Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I literally went home from Costa Rica to the Bay Area where I'm from, the Central Coast, excuse me. Not the Bay Area, it's different. If you're from there, they get aggressive.
Yeah.
So, Central
Sorry.
Coast. And then I flew to Washington, did a music festival, flew to LA. My mom picked me up, took me to the Snoop Dogg show. I performed for Snoop Dogg. And then my mom drove through the night and I taught from 9 to 5 or 9 to 2 the next day.
Soul.
I
You're
literally went from
wild.
like this crazy life to like,
Yeah.
all right, here's your job. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Just went up the mountaintop,
Yeah. Right
And
back.
right back
back
down.
back
to the
down.
valley.
Yeah.
But you know, I look back on those 2 years that I taught at a college, which is so random. It felt random. And I'm like, man, those were years
Yeah.
like that were so peaceful. And I just like didn't do, like, it was just so nice.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot going on, but like, I was just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Simple.
Right.
Simple.
I think too there's something about like I've so enjoyed my 9 to 5 because it's really it's been, you know, it's like a startup fashion business and it's been so cool to learn all
so cool.
aspects of marketing, you know? Like when you join something like that, it's like you're the marketer, you're also social media manager, you're also the stylist, you're
You're so
also
small as
in
a
charge
business.
of
Yeah.
product photos.
Yeah.
Like and it's so
The small business
you know,
struggle.
it's the best way.
Yeah,
and
no, it's
yeah,
real.
and the
Yeah.
person who started the business I work for, she's a mom of 5 boys and
Oh, man.
had to like start the
Wow.
business herself. Yeah, she's amazing. So it's been so good, like learning and growing. And I think like what I've learned in a 9 to 5 is like don't just do the bare minimum. You know, like even if you're doing your side hustle, like
Yeah.
even if you're like pouring into photography, like Dalton and I, we lead a small group on Wednesdays. Like we're like
Yeah.
faithful in a lot of other areas too.
Yeah.
But I think like there's something to being like stepping up in your 9 to 5, not to where you exert yourself, but just being like, hey, like I really want to grow. Like I want to learn something while I'm here.
Right.
And then you get to the point where you're like, well, I feel like I've learned everything I can. Then like maybe there's something new for you in your next
Right.
season.
Well, I mean, if
you know?
you think that you're gonna kind of like willy nilly through your 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and give like 20% effort,
Yeah.
and then walk into a major own your own business situation. Being a business owner is so much
Right.
harder.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden have it's like
Yep.
you think you're going to go to the gym and
Yeah.
not lift weights and then play in the NBA.
That's
like,
a good comparison.
You're kidding yourself.
There's no
Like,
way. Yeah.
You're out. You're like, that's laughable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so I just want to encourage all of us creatives out here who like,
Yeah.
we're having to do the mundane, whatever the mundane.
Right.
But it's really a place where you get trained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go out and maybe do it on your own one day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's so true.
Now, before we end, Lexi, which is crazy, I cannot see what I told you.
It
This
goes by
so
really
fast.
fast. We could
I
talk
don't even
for
feel like we got
hours.
we didn't get to ask her all the
She
questions.
has to come back. That's
You
just
have
what
to
it is.
come
She's
back.
coming back.
No
That's-
joke. I'm
I
not
feel
kidding.
like
That's what
so
it is.
good on
Like
this
probably
podcast.
within the next month or something.
Definitely.
We need to
Come
pay
back
you
soon.
to come back on. Yeah, I'm like, oh,
You guys are so fun to hang out with. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
I'm here.
I just want you to answer one more question, and
Okay.
we have to have you back.
Yeah, I'd love
Guys,
to.
if you're on YouTube, leave a comment.
Yeah.
We need Lexi back. Okay, just all
Wow,
caps.
I
We
feel I'm
need
getting
Lexi
blushing
back.
a little.
Me
Woo!
too. I feel like you have so much
Boosting
in
my
you.
ego.
So much in you.
Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
give one tip to creatives who are
Ooh,
kind of like in that
okay.
situation, the mundane,
Yeah.
getting started, and
Yeah.
maybe they're discouraged or whatever. Just what would you say?
And you're discouraged in it, man. I've been there, and my thing is like, don't feel like you have to like push yourself through it, you know, to get to the other side. Like, it's okay to feel things and wrestle with like, is this for me, you know? And like, that's okay to like experience those moments fully and be fully present and fully emotional, and being like, just have that heart check moment of like, what is my purpose? Like, it really goes back to that, like, okay, I have the potential to be at this 9 to 5, I have the potential to maybe quit and freelance or pursue this other work, but like really just come down to like, hey, what's my purpose in life? And I think when you like really think about that, then everything that you do is going to align with that, you know, like everything that you step towards is going to start to align with that. Like, maybe my 9 to 5 is really mundane, but these relationships that I have with the people here are awesome. And like, let's build into that, you know, like there's always something, there's always a little nugget there for you wherever you are, even if you
So
don't
good.
like what you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like heart transformation that can take place wherever you're at, you know.
Lexi Bradley, I'm literally
That's
gonna
it.
go home and be like, "What's my purpose?" I'm gonna. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna sit on the
Yeah.
couch and be like,
Yeah.
"I'm not kidding. I'm going to. You're gonna see me.
I bet I
we
will.
live together right now. You're
Yeah.
gonna see me when we go home. I'm gonna be on the couch like, just no TV.
You know, like, is it
One
to
line.
encourage people? Is it to like love people? Well, is it to like share your story if you've
That's
been
so
through
good.
hardship and like hopefully like bring people to God? Like, I don't know, but you know,
I'm not
there's
kidding.
always something.
You are speaking to me.
Yeah.
I know we're over time, but I just
Sorry,
gotta do
Andre.
this anyways. This is it. It's mainly for me, not Andre, but he
Yeah.
doesn't care, even though he's a father of 3. But like, Andre's our
ready to go
videographer. He's like, I got family. But I heard a little bit of something about day trading. And I
Okay.
think I'm gonna get into it because that's a part of my calling. It's so
Yes.
random.
Day
Look at, she just
trading.
rolled
I don't
her
even know
eyes
what that
at
is.
me.
I wasn't rolling my eyes. I was thinking.
Oh, like stocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like trading
Cool.
stocks.
Right on.
She's
And,
so smart.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna get into it because that's a part
cool.
of my purpose.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's so
My
good.
purpose. Yeah.
I'm proud of you for stretching yourself. You know?
Oh my gosh, it's so like what?
Yeah.
Like, know
You
what I
don't
mean?
have to be perfect at it to step
Yeah,
into it.
you don't have to know how to
Yeah,
do it. Step into
yeah.
it. Gotta
YouTube's
figure it out.
great.
YouTube is
I
great.
use
That's
YouTube
true.
a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Learning things.
You're
Yeah.
not kidding. I have
Yeah.
grown so much smarter because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Aw. Well, I wish you the best of luck with your day trading
Thank you.
hobby, which will probably turn into a business, which will probably turn into who knows what, because
Oh
Gabby's
my
in
gosh.
charge.
You know, I just feel
Gosh.
called to fund people.
Yeah.
Like, and there's so many people in need. So
Yeah. It's
that's
so
for another
good.
day. But
It's another
like,
podcast. Yeah.
legitimately, Lexi, thank you.
Yeah, it's been
We
so
love
fun, you guys. Thanks
so
for having
Sunnyside
me.
Up.
Yeah.
Anywhere else where people can find
Yeah,
you?
so my own personal one is lexi.d.bradley, and that's
Okay.
on Instagram. So I'd love
Follow
to hang
her.
out with you. Yeah,
Follow her, and we'll
super
bring you
weird.
back. Oh my gosh, it's just needed.
Aw,
Needed.
I'd really love to be back. Seriously.
Okay.
I want to hang out. I'll bring my
said it.
coffee.
We'll hold
do
you
it.
to it.
We'll have coffee this time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. And if you're listening in a podcast app, make sure you do whatever it takes to stay attached because you're going to want to get in on the new content we're coming out with. So we'll see you later. This is The Creatives Conversation. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.